Look at this thumbnail. MrBeast team probably spent hours on this thing, and if you actually look closely, every single part of it is doing something. The expression, the colors, the train, the people to show scale, none of that is random. They do big research on previous outliers, learning what works on YouTube. This is a thumbnail on video made 4 years ago. It was a huge outlier that got over 160 million views on this channel, so they knew this idea worked well on YouTube before. I have been designing thumbnails professionally for more than 7 years, and I worked on channels with millions of subscribers. So today I want to take this exact thumbnail and rebuild the whole thing from scratch. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand how a masterpiece like this is built step by step. So let's first analyze this thumbnail a little bit. As you can see, the background is really simple and it's leading our eye towards the train, which is the main point. What I usually do when I make backgrounds, for example, you're trying to make it as simple as you can. So if it doesn't add to the story or if it doesn't add to the thumbnail, don't add anything. So let's say you were to make a thumbnail for a video called World's Strongest Policeman. You would probably add police cars because it adds to the story. But let's say you were to make a video about the world's strongest man, you would just have the man there and you could have a really simple background. So your eyes go towards that man. It doesn't get lost trying to look around. If there were too many trees, maybe too many houses, it would be more complicated than if it just was the world's strongest man and your eye would just instantly shift there. I hope that makes sense. The next thing which you can look at is contrast. It's done really well. As you can see, the background or the ground here is really bright compared to the train, which is kind of darker. As well as we have the color theory here, there's good contrast done with colors. The train is blue and it's contrasting with an orange yellowish background, which makes it pop really well. The next one, we have expressions. So this is giving the viewer what he should feel before clicking on the video. As you can see, MrBeast is really excited or kind of looking forward to see what's going to happen if this train goes down this pit hole. Then the next one is scale, which is done tactically by adding something really familiar, which we know the scale of, by adding people, for example, maybe adding a car or whatever, and it's showing how huge or maybe long this hole is, you know? This is a really good way to show scale. And then the last one, we have the story that the image is telling. You should try to make the story as easy to understand and to build up some emotions in the people. And for this one, you could instantly tell that there is a train going down this pit hole and we're curious what is going to happen. Is the train actually going to come up, for example, you know? So yeah, these are some things we can take away from this thumbnail. Real quick, if you're watching this and thinking, I want to learn this properly and actually make money from it, I put together a free training that shows you exact systems I use, how to find clients, how to price your work, how to go from doing this for free to charging what it's actually worth. I put the link in the descriptions. It says free training. Go watch it after this. It's probably the most valuable thing I put out. Now let's go back to Photoshop. Now we can start working on the thumbnail. As you can see, my picture is pretty low quality, so we'll have to work with what we have. I just took a screenshot from the video itself. So let's cut myself out and delete the other parts. Then with the black and white brush, you can press X to go from white brush and black brush, as you can see from here. I'm gonna go to black brush and remove some parts, and then take a white brush and move around a little bit and fix it up. Okay. So we have the face kind of matched up with the MrBeast one. Now we need to just move the hand to match with this one. So I'm going to use the masking tool, cut out my hand right here, then duplicate it by holding down Alt, invert, and put it right here. Now that we have this ready, we can kind of sketch out the railing right here. So let's use a yellow color and sketch out how it goes. It goes around here and around here with the end here. Then we can sketch out the pit. Then we can sketch the path right here. Then we can sketch train. And the last thing is gonna be the rail. Then last thing, I'm gonna sketch some people here. As you can see, this is the rough sketch of how the thumbnail is going to look like. So usually I do either a sketch like this by drawing it, so I can kind of adjust the composition, play around with it. So whatever I'm trying to do, if it's maybe a thumbnail where I want to show off a house, maybe a red path towards the house, and something like this. I just draw it roughly so I can think about the composition first. And if I don't like it, I can just move it around and play around with it until it's exactly how I want it. You can also do this inside Blender if you don't know how to draw well, or if you really want to have like good freedom of like changing the composition around. You can press the camera here, and for example, if you were to looking for a really wide angle shot, you can just make the camera mode wide angle and take a thumbnail like this, and it's gonna have a different feel to it than if you were to have like a really thumbnail like this, you know. So it's just up to you what you prefer, but since we are trying to match the MrBeast one, we're gonna go with the composition which we already have, and it's gonna be this one. So the next step is to roughly sketch out where things should be. So you can either do that inside Blender, like I said, or find the 3D models here and put it all inside Blender, or sketch it out just like so. So as you can see, I found some railings like this, then some sort of train that I used right here. And I added some people as well, which I used from Google. It was this random standing person, just like so. And I found some photos like this and added some textures to resonate this. So now the next step is to add some lighting and shadows to it, so the AI further understand what you want. So you can, for example, add exposure layer to the ground here and then invert, and you can start painting shadow down here to show that it's a deep hole, just like so. And now we have the hole like this. You can add some rough ones just so it just like so. I feel like I like it. Now, same texture I applied here, I'm gonna apply to this thing right here. But for example, we can make this part brighter, but we don't have to do it this way. We can just bring it to AI and ask it to make it look realistic and add textures to stuff. We do that by exporting it. I'll export this exact image, go on to free pick, and now import this one, image 1, and make the image realistic. Add textures, add rails, train is going on, add shadows, make the train blue and make it really on the railings, and you can just press generate. After adjusting the prompt and playing around with it a little bit, I was able to get this result. As you can see, it made the textures here, it added some lighting here, and it added shadows as well. Now the next step is color correcting me. So I'm going to convert this into I'm going to convert myself into smart object and then go into camera raw filter. Now let's go over the settings that I usually change. So I lower down the highlights, higher down shadows. So by this, you're getting better details from the very overblown highlights and the shadows. So now, as you can see, it was completely back, and now I'm getting back the details from the dark places. I'm also gonna higher the whites. Usually I turn down the blacks, but this photo was really dark, so I'm gonna put up the blacks, whites up, exposure up, a little bit of vibrance and saturation, texture, noise reduction, and some sharpening. And I think we're good to go. I'm gonna add some clarity as well, and like this, I think we're good to go. Now, the next thing I'm gonna do is make my eyes and teeth white. I'm gonna use the hue and saturation and turn down the saturation lightness up to make them slightly brighter as well. And just like so, you can just draw into the teeth. Now we can change the t-shirt color, for example. So let's say we wanted to make the t-shirt blue or red, whatever, we can do it just like so. I'm gonna keep it like, I think red is good. Now I want to make my hand slightly more bright, so it pops more there against the background. So just higher up the exposure, lower down the gamma, invert, and then with a slight white brush, just brush it over here and some over here as well, just like so. Now I want to make the train even more blue so it pops. So I'm gonna use hue and saturation. Higher up this, I'm gonna press Command Alt Option E on MacBook and then highlight these parts that I want to turn even more blue. So let's say this part I want to make blue. So I'm gonna paint it black here because I did it wrong, other way around, invert it. Now the next thing I want to do is free paint this part of the train to blue. So let's press hue and saturation and paint it the same blue as we have here. It's about this blue. Then I want to make the terrain overall more blue. So I'm going to go inside the camera raw settings and up the blues, then higher the luminance, even more blue like so, then mask it out. What I will do, I want to revert the t-shirt back to black actually. What I will do is put a hue and saturation layer and lower down the lightness, and now it's black. What more you can do to make the t-shirt pop slightly more, you can add a white layer on top. Then with the underlying layer, you can put it something like so. It's like the blending. And with a white brush, now you can brush some highlights onto the t-shirt so it pops slightly more and add some light to it. This is the before, this is the after. I like to do this, especially if the t-shirt is slightly bigger resolution. I will do that by upscaling as well. So I'm just doing the base and then we can do it further. Then to match the MrBeast lighting, we can even further adjust the face by adding some exposure to it right here. It's gonna do some slight dodge and burning. This tutorial isn't about the face retouch, but we can adjust it slightly. You can maybe add some shadows to the sides like so, put this onto luminosity. And the last thing that MrBeast does on his retouches sometimes is add some like highlights, even more around his face. So you can add some to the hair here, some to the sides here, some right here. And like this, I think I like it. Let's add this back and this back. Now what else I want to do is actually make the railing slightly less dirty. I'm not really liking the dirt that it put on, so I'm gonna go back into the layer that it made with the AI, and I want to remove some of the dirt there. So I'll just put the masking layer on top of it and just remove. I know I was trying to make it more real with this stuff, but I prefer the version without that much dirt. And now I'll put a group onto this and just make the shadows myself. So I'm gonna add a shadow behind me so it makes sense. And then at the bottom, a little bit around here. And same goes for this one. I think I prefer it this way. Now we can make another layer on top of everything, create a camera raw filter all together for everything. Lower down highlights, hide the shadows slightly, add some sharpening to it. Gonna add some more blues to the train, some more luminance, maybe a little bit of luminance onto the yellows so the background isn't that saturated. And like so, I think it's good to go. Now you can use Upscaler inside Photoshop actually, which is just go into the edit and you press generative upscale and you can find the upscalers here. So you can use Topaz Gigapixel or Topaz Bloom. Let's say we use the Topaz Bloom, creativity, add it to like 6. And just press upscale and wait a little bit. So now it finished upscaling. You can see the before and after. It made some stuff better, which is important for me. I'm not looking at this, which made the face completely different. So I'll just add it on top of this. Oh, wrong layer still. This one is the layer we want to use. Now that we have the upscale version on top of it, now we can just mask out the parts that we want to actually upscale. Like for example, the train we can upscale a little bit, the background, the t-shirt slightly. Stuff like this we can upscale. Not the face, because look what it did. When the t-shirt and the hair, for example, and everything just looks a bit low quality, you can even ask FreePic to change that. So just put it here and tell Nanobana to upscale and add details. Make the t-shirt ultra detailed and hair too. For example, you can specify what you wanted to make it like, make detailed. And just press generate. Okay, so FreePic just finished it, and you can see this is the before and after. The t-shirt looks 100 times better. Also the hair looks decent and the texture is here. So I will now mask it out and even added these helmets to these guys, which is fun. But I mainly did this so the t-shirt looks realistic. So just do it like so, and the hair you can upscale as well this way. And I'm gonna see if another generation maybe made my face slightly bit better. This actually did. This generation did the hair slightly better, so I'm gonna use the upscaled version of my face here. Now we can just do the last and final camera raw filter with everything finished. Highlights down, shadows up, whites down, up, flex back, tiny bit of vibrance, some texture, noise reduction, sharpening, and this is the finished Thumbnail. You have just seen every single layer of how this was built, the cutout, the color grade, everything. And that's the actual process that goes into a thumbnail like this. Most people who watch a video like this think that was sick and then close the tab and go back to doing what they were doing, and that's completely fine. But if you're still sitting there thinking, I actually want to do this, I want this to be a skill that earns me real money, then I made something specifically for you. There is a free training, links in the description. It's where I break down the full business side of this, how to find clients, how to price your work properly, how to go from doing this for free to actually charging what it's worth. If you're serious about this, and I mean actually serious, not just watching video about it, that's exactly what the free training is for, a link in the description. And if you want more thumbnail content like this, I put one every week, so make sure to hit subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.